I've experienced a lot of loss in my life. It's heartbreaking. If I start talking about it, I'm gonna cry nonstop. But when I get happy, I experience extreme happiness. When I experience hurt or loss, I go deep. Like when I lost my mom in 2021, and then 24 hours later, I had to be on set.
That was the sound of the phenomenal Warren Masemola in action. Right here on the upside of failure. Can I just say, Mr. Masemola, it is an honor. I've waited years for you to come. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Relebogile Mabotja.
And hello to the listeners. Do you know that voice in the show?
Relebogile Mabotja.
I couldn't wait to come just do it like that guy does it.
Please, we actually have to record you doing the voiceover saying, you're listening to 702 Afternoons with
Of course, with a pleasure for you. Anything. Hello.
Listen, I think the listeners don't understand how, as an actor, your schedule is all over the place all the time. You don't know what time you're shooting. So it is always difficult to try and get actors on the slot. But I am so, so grateful that the schedule worked out and the timing, because you've known me since I was a kid, literally. And if the listeners don't know, Warren Otswa Soshanguve. Relebogile Otswa Soshanguve. And at one point, when my dad had a bottle store business, I'm going to let you tell the story.
In the year 2001, over the school holidays, I would walk down to Transfer. It's like 100 meters from my house, 70 meters from Relebugile's house, to a liquor store called Mabotja Liquor Store. And on school holidays, I would work there in my matric year. So over Easter holidays, June holidays, September holidays, and December holidays, because I was trying to stack up some money, because I had been accepted to go study at a dance college in Newtown called Moving Into Dance. And that was my only dream, to leave Soshanguve and chase my dreams.
And it is such a weird small world, because whenever I was at the bottle store, we just knew you as Shona.
Yeah.
Which, if anybody's calling you Shona, they know you from way back. When and why did you choose to take ownership of Warren Masemola?
So because I respect very much the name Mundwana, which is my other name in my ID, other than Warren. When I graduated from drama school, they said you have to choose a stage name. So I didn't want to be the Cheskop guy from Block L or Mr. Lupicia, the actor. No, so and then I was like, Warren should be the stage name. So we just went with Warren. And also because I thought I would book better, because like if you're trying to book an actor or a voiceover artist or anybody, if they have to say Relebogile, then people will go Relebogile, Kilebogile, Raleboga. It's a whole lot of things. Refilwe. So how about a Warren? Even the employers think, it's that guy Warren. Just call Warren. Call Warren up now.
Warren sounds like the name that when you're in negotiations for a fee, they're already going to say yes to the increase.
No.
Budget.
No. Until I show up and they're like, Isan, we thought, but he's black. Oh, okay, yeah, you've got the deal.
So I have to say, it is so beautiful watching you grow, because I was just 2-3 years your junior, and of course the whole family. But I'm curious, in that time, no service like bottle store, which by the way I was banned from when I started getting breasts, and boys would come and not buy. They would just.
And you were so eager to help out all the time.
Was I annoying?
Not really. You didn't have anything to do at the house and schools were closed. So you just wanted to hang around and see what the new business adventure was.
Yeah.
But the truth was you were maturing as a young girl, and your father was overprotective, which I highly regard him
He
for.
sent me to the bank to count dirty money. And by dirty, I mean dirty coins, not dirty in the other sense.
In the Willis bag. Because we know Willis bags are famous in Pretoria.
Because my mom would always remind me, you have to wash your hands after counting money, because people hide it in every place. So I always thought money is just dirty.
True.
Always wash your hands. But what was the biggest life lesson you learned from that experience?
Is that I had to quickly mature and grab life like the bulls by the horns, because it was 5 years after my dad had passed away. And in the same year my mom got retrenched, it was almost like a month later my dad died. And so we always had my mom unemployed while I was in high school. And I had dreams, and the other dreams that I couldn't fulfill, going to a university, a technicon, because there were technicons before University of Technologies at the time, we didn't have the funds nor the fees to afford the tuition. So I had to just really discipline myself and focus and ke kgobokantsha tjhelete to come to Johannesburg, because a cousin of mine said, hey, it seems like you've got talent. There are avenues. Let's go try. And because by the time I was a matric, I was already accepted at the Moving Into Dance Center. So I had to be focused. And that's what I took from that if I didn't make it for myself that time, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because fast forward, in less than 3 weeks of being in Johannesburg, I was kicked out of this dance college. And it
What did you do?
I was very homophobic.
What?
I've spoken about it.
This is the first time I am hearing about this.
For real?
I mean, I would love to say, and this is my approach to interviews, I try not to overly research my guests, because I lose the level of curiosity when everything you tell me is like, oh, I knew that. I knew that. And I like to leave the room to also be like one of the listeners of just being curious. Now, why were you homophobic? And now you know the real reason, but share with us.
I was fresh out of Soshanguve. I didn't know anything about homosexuality except for Amon. Habo Amon, they used to sell fat cakes Magwe.
Yes.
So he was the only gay guy we had in the hood.
Yes.
I understood who he was because we used to buy fat cakes at his house. But for me to be exposed to a group of number of homosexuals in a space of 20 learners and being a part of the 20, and we all had to move differently, like elements, different elements of water, fire, wind, and earth, and you moving as such individually, and then the element of water would have to mix with the element of wind, and you'd have these boys, and they are openly homosexual, and you can see they're proud. But I was like, why don't look me in the eye. Don't touch me.
The reason I'm laughing is because you know what's so crazy? That is the reality of the Gussie life at that time, right? And let's not dismiss the fact that because we're all a bit more liberal, that isn't still people's realities. True. Where it is discomforting and uncomfortable for somebody around you being fully themselves, because maybe there are parts of you, and it doesn't mean that, homophobes are questioning their sexuality, but parts of yourself that you are denying yourself enjoying freely. Whether it's the fact that you can sing and everybody said, your friend said, okay, boys play soccer. Now you hold back. Now you're seeing somebody in a dance school fully living their true self. And now they're looking you in the eye because they have the confidence to do so. And they don't mind that while we're dancing, we might touch one. It doesn't mean I want to do anything to you. But for you, it was
somewhat foreign. Because I knew of homosexuals. I knew of homophobia. But I had never been in such close proximity with a group of homosexuals. And that would mean like from morning until afternoon. So from like 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. It didn't take 5 days. I had like 2 hearings called into the office.
What did you say though that it became that formal? Was it that your homophobia at the time was very loud?
It was very loud. Knowing the language back home in Soshanguve, if we go into Venek, almost every other word is a swear, curse word.
Yes, and a derogatory term. Yes.
So I had to get myself out of that shell, and I didn't know anything at the time. I got called in twice to the office, and the third time, that's when they dismissed me, and they asked me, do you want to say anything for yourself? And I was like, no. And then I left. And
Yo.
then that reminded me where I was when I used to work at Mabotja Liquor Store.
Yeah.
That the dream was to be in Johannesburg,
Yeah.
do something for myself, build a career out of it. And if arts was the way to go, then really be about it. And when I went back to Soshanguve for just like 2 weeks, it was too much. I came back to Johannesburg, au pair or baby, asked my sister, my cousin, to babysit her 2 daughters. And that's how I survived what I would have called a gap year. I didn't have the privilege. I had just been kicked out, but now I was in some phase of a gap year. And then I got another audition to go to the Market Theatre, and that's where I cleaned up myself.
Talk to me about the moment that it dawned on you what was going on, because you get many people who find themselves going to juvie, then jail, but they never learn the lesson. So they keep having, even though they have dreams, even though they whatever the case is happening in their world. What was the moment for you where the light switch went on?
It was remembering that for 4 to 5 years of my high schooling, we didn't have electricity at my house.
Yo.
You wouldn't tell. You'd be in bed by the time lights have to go on. And
I love how you say that. Let me just tell you, all I know is whenever lights were out, Tato, my older brother, went out of his way to scare us. The moment lights went out, you must know you won't know where he is.
Yeah.
And because, we had dogs outside, and then the moonlight would be shining and the plants would be moving.
Yeah.
You'd know he's coming somewhere. So for me, I will remember every time I was awake and there was no power. That is so wild. So you thought about the 4 or 5 years of no electricity.
When I
Yes.
was in high school. We used to do laundry and everything smelled like paraffin because you cooked using paraffin. And even if you tried to iron your clothes, it was still from a Primus stove. The iron would be put on a Primus stove. So all of that experience, not being able to date girls when I wished in high school because of the condition that we were in. It was like, it's either you choosing poverty or you choosing survival. And
Pick a
survival was
struggle.
the only struggle to pick was survival, and survival mode kicked in. And poverty is real. I mean, you left the hood so many X years ago. It has never gotten better, other than we got a tar road on our street.
If anything, I think in some ways it might have gotten worse.
Everywhere, every ghetto in South Africa. But talking about Soshanguve, I looked at it. My friends were school dropouts, high school dropouts. My one friend failed matric and decided to go back to matric and be in the class with the former grade 11s in his high school. So I got that motivation from friends like that. And I saw from other people that I grew up calling friends in the hood how their lives panned out because of lack of a dream, lack of passion, lack of vision. And I was like, I've got it. And I don't want to be here. I don't want to end up a taxi driver like my big brother. I don't want to end up like my younger brother who doesn't know his father from the age of 11 months and then blame life on not having parents that worked and could provide. And we didn't come from that background. So all I knew was to fend for myself most of my high school. And that's the spirit that carried me through to not go back to Soshanguve after I was not so well mannered at the dance school. And may I just give a testimony. Then I found God. When I found God on stage at the Market Theatre Laboratory.
Yeah.
It was the most beautiful 2 years of my life.
I have to ask, did you ever go back to the dance school?
Yes.
And what did you say to them?
I bought Saturday tickets. What do I say? I bought tickets for Saturday classes.
Yes.
So the more you got, like 10 instead of 1, you'd get discount. I got
Yes.
like 50 tickets.
Yes.
Because the dream was still there. I enjoyed learning dance, outside street dance, because how I got into the dance college was because I could do kwasa kwasa,
Yes.
twalata, street dance, manyisa.
Yes.
But when I got into that environment, I learned about Afrofusion, contemporary, and jazz, and Sobo Gregory Makoma, and
Yes.
Sobo Vincent Manzui, and Sobo African Footprint. The dream of traveling the world, going to America and performing dance. I never knew one could have a career out of dance. And look at the dancers today, even like people like Soweto's finest.
Yes.
So yeah, I went back to moving into dance and I took classes.
And did you ever face that principal that had to, what
Yes.
did they say, or what did you say to them?
The most beautiful motivation they gave me when they kicked me out, they said like, we used to have a student here. You remind us of him. You probably might know him. He goes by Zola 7.
What?
He was just like you, but he made a career out of him and his situation and himself, right? And so when I then went to market theater and weekends, I'd go for classes. Then I would meet Bo Tatanelo David April, Bo Sylvia Glasa, and the other educators that used to work with us. And they'd be like, "But yeah, Warren," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I know I was," and and then we cleared it. They just saw that shame. Kingwana Mudimu, he didn't know much about much, but he learned through his journey. And now look at what he's become. This.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I want to take a moment. Firstly, respect Zola 7, love him and his work and what he's done for the culture. Like forever, ever, we'll give that man his flowers. But I want to take a step back to what you were sharing about, within a month apart, getting retrenched, father passing away. What did that teach you when you were that 17-year-old kid? Because I can only imagine the pressures being a young boy. You're a boy, let's be straight. But
12, actually, not 17, 12.
12. Yeah. So you're a man, a young boy that society is expecting to man up in that moment. Okoso Shanguve, your mom being retrenched and losing your father while you're a preteen. That sounds like, I can't imagine how many layers of trauma. How did you cope with that, and how do you look back at how you coped now being an adult?
I'm very thankful for my parents. They believed in education. The eldest of my siblings, Gugu, was like an academic in high school and varsity. And as siblings, you'd have like sort of call it a best friend amongst your siblings. So Gugu has always been my best friend, and she's the only sister we have, and she's the eldest. So my mom gets retrenched in December, the bonus start December. After the bonus start December, my dad's health deteriorates. Hospital. Certain age, we can't go visit the theater or the hospital. So myself, I stayed behind. I think my sister and my brother Masome went through to HF Vervoerd. And we got told.
And which is now Steve Biko
Hospital.
Yes, which is a very good academic
hospital.
Yeah.
So when they came back from the hospital, you can imagine it's almost like 9, 10 at night. I can't remember. But like I imagine it was like that time, 10 o'clock. And then they tell us, this is what happened. You've lost your dad. Don't cry. Don't cry. Hold it. No, I'm not, listeners, I'm not talking to Relebogile. I'm saying then when when I was told, then they were like, your dad has passed. Don't cry. Strength. Fear.
Sorry, I'm getting now teary that as a 12-year-old, you were told that.
Don't cry. We don't want them to look at us and as if we're coming across weak. And I'm a 12-year-old. I'm like, who are you talking about, these people? Don't cry. Gather all the strength you need just until the burial. Don't cry. Don't show loss, And I'm like, and we went through that.
And as a creative, and I have to mention, there are certain parts of ourselves that are so connected to spirituality, to our emotions. As a creative, being told not to cry is almost like
a trigger to say.
It's telling a fish to breathe in air. That's what it is, because that's our source of our gifts. So did you hide the tears, or you really didn't cry?
I didn't cry in front of them because then there was commotion. It was almost like we were preparing for a wedding is what it looked like to me. Because then furniture was moved, beds were moved, couches were moved, best plates in the house were moved. People were coming in, neighbors, like a lot of people were just coming in and out. And I even forgot that I have school in my life. And that week went by so fast. Then there was wood at the back of the house. Some wood had nails in it. Then I was at the back of the house playing, but not by the fire. It was during the day. And then I stepped on this wood that had a nail. And then I started bleeding. And then I started screaming, "Don't scream, we have a funeral." Yeah, man. Kind of these black people, man. Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm crying at the situation.
So like you bleed like Muchiye, take him to the house.
Baska
Yeah, and
Baska
then
mona.
manyanis. I don't know what's manyanis. So that pepper powder thing that you mix with water and then they put it on the wound and then they say plaster around it. And I couldn't wear shoes to my father's funeral. I was in sandals. Then we used to call them Di Jerusalem.
Oh my God.
I was
Sorry,
like, hey, this burial is a movie straight up.
You know, you literally should be doing a film about that moment in your life because everything you're sharing is so powerful. But I need to pause for us to go to the news. I promise we will pick it up. Go Di Jerusalem. Oh my God. Whew, it's 2:30.
702.
The upside of failure.
Sorry, why are you finished?
I have a pet. I can't just disclose what it is.
Oh
But like, oh, the landmine.
Do you have a snake? Okay, it isn't a snake.
I can't. Even if it were, I wouldn't tell you.
Okay, it's the upside of failure with award-winning South African actor Warren Masemola. The landmines, bruh. And the problem was because she's still a baby and there's a big dog outside. You know, we managing. Oh, it's a lot. Conversation for another day. Okay. You were telling us the story that now you're at your dad's funeral. You're not allowed to cry. Nah, you're not allowed to scream. You're wearing the Jerusalem sandals. At that time, did you realize that what was happening around you and the situation was absurd? Or did you kind of just like, it is what it is? Did you only realize it was absurd when you were older?
I only realized it was absurd when I was older.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I was from grade 6 in 94, studying grade 7 in 95. So it was that whole transition, apartheid, post-apartheid. I didn't take it in for what it was because my lifelong friend was there and we're tight buddies. And it was just like, oh, there's this whole commotion happening. I'm glad my friend is here. And his dad allowed him to be here because he probably understands, sure, I lost the dad. So thanks to his dad. And that's all. That's really what it was at the time. And before my dad died in 94, he got me into a school because my friend and I have always tried follow each other to be in the same school to end up in the same desk.
Yes.
So Gogi was in Capital Park Primary, and I said to my dad, Capital Park Primary. My dad and I drove to Capital Park, and we went to Flower Street, where the school is. And we went to a different school. It was not Capital Park Primary. It was Laerskool Generaal Jaak Pienaar.
Whoa! Laerskool
Generaal
Jaak
Jaak
Pienaar.
Yeah, in Pretoria they call it Jiggy's Pienaar.
Okay.
So Gogi was there, you know, in February when we were laying my dad. And it was at the same time when Gogi and I realized that I was not going to Capital Park Primary. So we laughed a lot about it in that year, which was the first year of my dad's passing. That I was at an Afrikaner school and he was at an English school. And so when we finish our grade 7, standard 5, we'll probably meet together at Boys High.
Yes.
So, yeah, the year just went on like that. Thanks to Koki for being there in my life.
Yeah.
We met since we were 5 until he OD'd on cocaine and we didn't know that he was on drugs in 2009.
I look at, you know, some of your phenomenal accolades, right? And in many ways, there's a part of me that feels like there is something intensely spiritual about your gift. And I am learning how many spiritually gifted people experience some of the worst tragedies. So I mean, you are a 4-time SAFTA winner, which is not a small feat.
That's not true. It's 5.
Oh, yes, it is 5.
The 5th one was won under COVID, so maybe that's why a lot of people are still
Forget
counting it as
it.
4.
Yes, because you're not. Okay, let me rephrase.
Thank
4-time SAFTA winner in person.
Yes.
The 1-time virtual winner.
Yes,
and
Gana.
you've got this amazing project. But before we talk about Kabelo, is what I'm saying resonating in any way where I feel like gifted people are in many ways tortured souls that have to learn to overcome so much that I see in your work, you pour everything, even if it was for a Beyonce music video. You laid it all. Like you could have died that day and there's not a single thing you would look back on and do differently. That's how I feel when I look at your artistry. It feels like it comes from the rawest place. So you even saying you had your gogi, you lost your dad, your friend OD'd, like that is rough stuff.
So I did my grade 1 and 2 in Putanang Primary School in Soshanguve Block K. And with a group of neighbors and friends that we were at the school, we used to walk together. But after school, we used to stop by and, and play because we were kids. And you'd find this ant hills. And what a common thing we had amongst each other was that do not kick or destroy the ant hill because God is going to destroy your house because you destroy a home of the ants. But it was at that stage when I realized that there must be reincarnation. Yet I didn't know the word for it was reincarnation. But looking back, I've always believed in reincarnation. I believe I've been here before. I believe I'm coming back. And I believe that I am just a vessel. There is spirit that moves within me. And I do what my ancestors and the spirit sends me out there to do. Not a tumamina ya Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa.
I didn't expect that.
Tumamina Dlozilam. Send me God. Spirit.
Oh my God. So I have to ask a question. If you believe in reincarnation, what do you think you are, because you are a vessel in this life, meaning you are here to serve? What do you think that is karma for in your previous life?
I don't know that much. I don't know that much. But I've experienced a lot of loss in my life. It's heartbreaking. If I start talking about it, I'm going to cry nonstop. But when I get happy, I experience extreme happiness. When I experience hurt or loss, I go deep. Like when I lost my mom in 2021, and then 24 hours later, I had to be on set. And I was doing a sitcom, and I was grieving, and I had 6 more weeks to shoot.
Being comedic relief while you are going through grief.
In less than a day. So I just think I'm extreme in where my spirit allows me to go, and because I do not filter that or try to direct it or control it, I think just like a bird, I just fly. That's all the bird knows, hunting and flying. I'm here.
Okay, we need to take a break. Please, your questions 072-702-1702 or give us a call 011-883-0702.
702.
The upside of failure.
The upside of failure. We're chatting to multi-award-winning actor Warren Masemola, who is now got some new work out. But if you don't know where you know him from, Jovich or the River, there are so many, Via the Widow, Inamba, just to name a few. And if I'm to say this man is a chameleon, he can transform from comedy to drama to horror. And if you have seen the visual videos of the Lion King album that was produced by Beyonce and team, please remind me the name of the project.
Black is King.
Black is King. That is
I
the
played
one.
Scar.
And yes, and he played Scar. 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. But I also have to mention that Warren has spoken openly about having alopecia, because people question his sexuality. They question how you look. They question your sexuality and so many things. And I have to say, I love your responses. And I love how, again, you being a chameleon is also just how you are in life. You fit in so many spaces. You love so hard. You love so hard. And I know that you are just such gold to the people in your life, and you're never afraid to say what you think or believe. Before we go to the lines and questions, tell us about Kabelo.
Kabelo is a film that we shot out in Lesotho with Carl McKellen alongside Relebogile Mabotja. It's a story about a character who's a fugitive in Lesotho and teams up with a shepherd boy up in the mountains because location-wise, then South Africa wouldn't be able to track him down. But he is in need for his own personal survival within his journey, and understands when he meets this character of a shepherd, Kabelo, that their journeys are intertwined. They both have visions for a better life and a dream they need to fulfill. And it might be out of their own countries. One, Kabelo in Lesotho, and Master being from South Africa. And they meet up there in the mountains, and you know, Master promises Kabelo certain things to get him out of his situation and make life better for him. But Master is also in need for something from Kabelo so that he can continue his journey of survival by not going back to South Africa, and cannot afford to stay in Lesotho because immigration and illegal migration is a serious thing. When we shot it in Lesotho 2 years ago, with last year, today, tomorrow, we are dealing with illegal immigrants and immigration and stuff like that. I think it was just pure genius for the director and the makers of the film to tell this particular story at that time, because it is just as prevalent even up to today. Migration is a serious issue. We mustn't put it under the carpet like we always do every day, because we know there are people who are on the ground, and some of those people are us, especially as actors. When you end up in Lesotho and experience a life of a fugitive in Lesotho, those people, they don't play. They respect their police officers. They call them officiri. They respect the soldiers because they are soldiers. And the soldiers and the police, they don't mix. It's like water and oil. And this is why you see that other people come to South Africa and they don't respect the law of the land. But when you go to an immediate neighbor surrounding South Africa, it be Swaziland, Lesotho, Mozambique, or Zimbabwe. I mean, I remember in Mozambique once, we didn't have transport to get to Maputo from Shai and we tried to go to public transport taxi terminus, and they thought, why would we travel in a 14-seater, but we only 6 of us and we got the millions for it, because the millions are made to car, right? They couldn't even allow us to sleep at the police station, Joe.
Whoa.
So,
and you know what? You're touching on so many things.
I know, but for Kabelo and Master in the movie Kabelo, we get to see those issues that we choose not to talk about when the people on the ground are addressing them on a daily basis. And we say there are better blacks and there are people, whatever, etc.
This is a film that is going to be screened on the 5th of March, 2026 at Theatre on the Square in Sandton. And I encourage you to see the phenomenal work of Warren. But we've got 2 of your voice notes on 072-702-1702.
702.
The upside of failure.
I think they had a funeral, so I was accompanying a friend. And then, so but divide like a fence, I don't know if it's still there. And then he's speaking to his neighbors, right? And I'm like, you guys speaking to Warren? They're like, yeah. I'm like, no freaking way. I jumped that fence. I went to, I was like, are you really doing laundry? He's like, yes. And we have a video. I actually recorded it. It's on Instagram. And he doesn't mind being recorded. And I'm like, dude, you're doing laundry. He's like, yeah, but at home, I'm Warren, the number guy. And I'm like, say my name, like with your voice. And he says my name. And I went crazy. I just liked how humble he is. Such an amazing guy.
Why is that voice note making you teary-eyed?
Because that's the Ramudiba.
Yes.
Is my back opposite neighbors.
Yes.
So the father, we call him Baba.
Yes.
So lungi. So fancy, and that's the back of the house, because we can't do laundry at the front of the house like a lot of people in Soweto do. No shots fired. Sorry, but this is what I see on the streets. But we were doing laundry at the back of the house, and then a stranger was visiting this family, and like she was in shock or out that I, Warren Masemola from number, can do laundry. And you know how we do laundry back home. Even when you have a washing machine, you will diershuch, meaning wash again.
Yes.
Because that is how the elders used to do it.
I'm sorry to cut you, but there is a call and we're running. Okay, go ahead, Kitu from Midrand. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Kitu.
Hi. This is Kitu Metiki Kazanya Shuna Warren. I just wanted on behalf of Rona as a family, whom I call publicly, to say we're proud of you. Every single day we celebrate la Masemola Kodimo, that Maluma Komo, the Auskosi Gobaleng, that's shining down on you. And I just want to say, Rahorata, we're very, very, very proud of you. And thank you for everything that you do. And we wish you luck, more luck.
Kitu ulisa ngwana mong ka mo studio.
That's my sister.
Only-
She's also like a great inspiration to all of us as cousins to go to school.
Ow. Listen, thank you for loving him and thank you for gifting the world this man because you gave him to us. And while he is still here. We have run out of time. Sorry, I'm getting very emotional. I love you so much.
I love you.
And I'm so proud of you. And on top of that, you have no idea how much people seeing you coming from where you come from in the life you have built impacts people. Please never stop being yourself. Shona waka ke go rata rati. And thank you for coming.
I love you, Mfana Baji.
Spend your afternoon
With Relebogile Mabotja.
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.